build quality education for the black nation. We're building quality education without colonization. Africa, yeah, Africa, let's come together, Africa, oh. Africa, yeah, Africa, let's come together, Africa, oh.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As I was introduced, my name is Hans Saisai. I wear a lot of hats in society, but the most recent one is being a technical advisor for crops and poultry at the Agricultural Bank of Namibia. So my job is very simple. I take information, make it useful, distribute it out there, and create businesses from that information. I'll go to the topic of history as it was presented. David and I were family. There is a linkage there, the bloodlines. His father follows my grandmother on my paternal lines.
Okay.
So when I look at him, I refer to him as an uncle of mine. So he will tell you that my grandfather on my father's side never had access to education. He was raised by farming and fishing. After matric, I had an option to become an engineer or a geologist, but I was like, I don't have any history in any of those two fields. What do I know best? Go home, work the land, plant the seed, rear livestock, and that's how I became an agriculturalist. I'll start off with a 3 minutes presentation, and I'll speak from the heart like everyone else. In Namibia, you get to realize that every graduation ceremony is only us. You don't see the white guys graduating. Why? I told a friend that these guys don't graduate because the system they have built is through agriculture. Everywhere you go, the first thing they ask you is, what collateral do you offer? In Africa, you need land. It's your first means of production. And I'll say, with access to land, you have unlimited potential in terms of what you do. In school, I was taught structure of a locust, but then it never favored me because I never became a chemical engineer to produce pesticides, herbicides, and those kind of things. Later on in this role where I'm saving, I got to realize that the structure of a weevil, the crustaceans, there is a weakness. If you take ash and rub it in your grain storage, the ash becomes a natural pesticide. So, agriculture is very vulnerable to changes. You notice in Namibia, we have climate change, we have market shifts, and we have technology. You have to evolve how you do agriculture for you to make money. And lastly, if you don't evolve in these three aspects, it will threaten food security. So PASETA, we commend you for considering agriculture to be taught from a young age. Somebody will become mature. Next slide, please. Now, an overview of Namibia. Farming is the basis, in the sense that every foundation of our economy relies mainly on agriculture, because we build shelter on land, we produce food on land, and we trade on land. And you will notice that there are two systems, a commercial farmer and a communal farmer. It's not how you own the land or what type of land system you have that determines this, but it comes down to entrepreneurship. The guys that own land to run businesses, we classify as commercial. The guys that own land and just keep it and make use of it, we call them communal, because they only think of their immediate needs. But the white guys, they have realized that breakfast, brunch, lunch, and dinner must be provided by somebody. And they've built a system by making sure that they give you food 3 times a day. And that's why agriculture becomes fundamental. Now, why must agriculture be introduced in early learning systems? Some of us were fortunate to be raised by a farming family, and livestock became the collateral that educated our fathers, and then later the same livestock was transferred to us and educated us to become the agriculturalists. Now, if you look at this slide here, we need to understand that agriculture has potential to unlock the biggest problem we have in Africa, unemployment among the youth. If you unlock agriculture and you create value with it, to process and move away from only traditional primary agriculture, you will imagine how many jobs will be created in that. Apart from that, marketing. Teach the young man that agriculture is space for those that don't want to farm, they want to sell the product. And lastly, we have to trade. And if you look at what we have here, Namibia is so fortunate that Botswana is our biggest importer of our livestock genetics. The Kalahari red goats, the Boggles, the Brahman bulls. Nowadays we have moved to the brown meat master sheep. South Africa, on the other hand, we import 96% of the fruits from South Africa, so there is room for an African child to know that if we produce more fruit in Namibia, we cut the export, the import, but then we don't limit ourselves to Namibia only. We can trade with South Africa. I would conclude by saying, in Namibia, South Africa gets a brand of good quality beef they export to Europe, but the beef is raised in Namibia until 7 months. Then we do live exports. When we send these cattle to South Africa, we have feedlots that fatten them over a period of 60 to 90 days. And then they are slaughtered, processed, and sent to Europe. So if we teach our young generations that 3 times a day, we can produce high value products, in the sense that everything that is produced in Namibia, if you just go back to my slide, the previous slide, again, oh sorry, just see. If you look at these enterprises, apart from South Africa, we are the only country that gets to export table grapes and dates to Europe. And the table grapes, from October each year to February the following year, we push anything between 984 million Namibian dollars to 1.2 billion Namibian dollars. If you go to the beef, the livestock sector, we are at 4 billion Namibian dollars every year in terms of the exports of red meat. And then we also go to the poultry. Before I joined Agribank, the industry was around 900 million. The past 6 years at Agribank, we have been able to push it to 1.8 billion. We are only following the livestock industry. At the rate at which we are producing, we no longer import eggs in Namibia. We have benchmarked local production to local consumption. So teach the young African child to understand that for you to survive in this world, first feed yourself and produce enough to sell to others. And remember, all the crops that are considered to be healthy crops in the high-end markets, they are produced and exported from Africa. So let's not neglect agriculture. Let's make it more practical, and let's ensure that whatever we teach our kids, never think of agriculture as just a mere subject. History has shown us that he who feeds you controls you. I conclude by saying that. Thank you.